So I'm Gisle Evensen. I'm a partner with Summa Equity. We're a European impact fund, investing in growth-oriented buyout and Series B and onwards. And I'm joined at the stage with Edgeir Aksnes, who is the CEO of one of our portfolio companies. And yeah, tell me about yourself.
Yeah, I'm one or two founders of Tibber. So we started looking into the energy space a few years ago, and found out there was a few things going on there that we could do better. And our look at the world in terms of energy was that, well, energy was slightly boring for me as a customer. Every energy company on the planet had more or less the same business model. So basically trying to profit the maximum from each kilowatt hour they sell to you. And well, the whole sales model, the whole system around it, we found that peculiar, that no digital model had been delivered to the market, and now real empowerment of the customer, of the user, in terms of how to consume energy. So that's where we started.
So that's why you asked us to join the electric revolution. But what does that mean? What does your product do?
Yeah, so I just explained a little bit how we looked at the problem. So we saw that the problem in terms of the eyes of the customer is that, well, if I was, a few years back when I was a customer of an electricity company, I was a passive customer. I just received a bill, I paid it, I had no clue what I was using energy on, and I didn't get very much help in order to reduce my bill. And also, since the profit model is how it was, no energy companies were interested in me saving energy, reducing my energy bill. So that's what we started focusing on, what we're going to do differently. So what we figured out is that, well, what if we start a company where we have a platform, so an app with a platform behind, where energy is transacted without any markup. Green energy sourced directly to the customer on an hourly tariff. That's the base point. And then start add on analytics around this. And then comes the exciting part. Then we start adding in all the consumer technology which is out there on the market. That could be electric cars, it could be solar panels, it could be smart thermostat. There's a number of these things being out there on the market. And I want to have a tool so that I can reduce energy consumption automatically. So that's where we started. We created the best tool, at least in our eyes, so that I as a customer can just switch on a digital energy contract and start using the different, well, tools that I have in my house and make them play together.
And how, as a consumer, how do I use your tool? What do I see when I open the app? What can I influence?
So, the simple use case is just to download the app, and then you sign up, and you can start buying green sourced energy, and that's where it starts. And then what we do there is to try to get the best possible insights based on the data points, because all customers we're bringing onto the platform has either a smart meter or a real-time meter that we connect. And based on that, we can tell you a lot about how your energy consumption is compared to others who are, well, maybe using energy better. And then we can start recommending what are the actions you can do. And it's sort of a gamified thing. And the point is that you can follow this on a daily basis. So we over this period of time we're in right now, an energy price crisis, we see that the effects of Tibber has made even the impact into a lot of different homes that really weren't aware of how energy was consumed. So whether it's by the usage of technology, so in terms of charging the car, or whether it is, okay, should I wash my clothes right now or just wait a few hours when the price has gone down 40%.
But to that, the cleverest customers that you have, what do they do? The cutting edge, yeah.
Yeah, so our belief is that technology should help you. So there are many ways that we can talk about saving energy, but that are very intrusive. So if you talk about washing your clothes during the night, that's very intrusive. So that's not a very clever thing. So what we think is that if you own an electric car, it's so easy to gain a lot of savings. It's just to connect it into the Tibber app, and the Tibber app sends schedules to the car so that the car charges when the energy price is low, since all of our customers are on hourly tariffs. So that's one very basic use case. Another one is is that most homes, villas, row houses, etc., in Northern Europe, spend most of their energy either on heating or connected to, well, anything that has to do with heating, really. So it could be hot water for that matter. So in there is a lot of different things we can help optimize the customer by smart heating, using algorithms so that we do not overheat your home, but also give you a good hint on how to when to switch away from a direct electric heating device over to a heat pump, for instance. So there's a number of these things, but electric cars, heating, and basic insights about your consumption. That's what they do.
Interesting. But and what are the? I mean, if you look at new markets, what are the characteristics or the prerequisites, so to speak, for the infrastructure for actually Tibber to be efficient?
Yeah. So in order for Tibber to work, one thing, there are two very basic things. One is that there must be a liberalized energy market. So right now we're in Switzerland. It's not a liberalized energy market because here you cannot swap supplier as you want. It's still a monopoly on the consumer side. So there must be a deregulated market, and most of Europe is like that already. So that's one prerequisite. The other one is we want to enable hourly price towards the customer. So that requires there to either to be a smart meter or there to be a real-time meter that we can install. So we have developed our own device called Tibber Pulse. It's like a pulse watch for your home. So that's our own technology, and we are distributing that to the customers who want that. But we prefer to use the existing smart meter infrastructure if it exists, or then we backfill with our own technology. So that's how we do that, and this infrastructure is in place in most markets in Europe already.
Yeah, and you need that to do the time shifting that you described.
Exactly, because if you want to avoid the high-priced hour and go to the lower, we need to have the hourly pricing in place.
Yeah. So you started out in your two home markets that are Norway and Sweden. Can you talk about what the next markets were and why?
Yeah. So we started exporting Tibber first from Norway to Sweden and then further to Germany and Netherlands. And the German market we opened up last year for real, and Netherlands this year. Two very different markets. The German market, there was a lot of bureaucracy, so it took us quite a while in order to get up and running on all the different parameters in the product. And then we finally got it and started growing now in the middle of the energy price crisis. And the case in the Dutch market is that there we had everything from the get-go, so we saw an exponential curve. So I think that from a market launch perspective, where the core message is to save on your energy bill, I think we couldn't have asked for a better timing to some extent, even though this is a very dramatic time when it comes to, well, cost for the consumer, obviously.
Yeah, but how would you say that the geopolitical situation or the energy crisis really impacts the use or the pickup of Tibber?
Yeah, so the whole fluctuation of prices in the energy market has led fixed prices to rise very, very high. And it also leads the risk of suppliers who are offering fixed prices to price that risk very high. So the trend now is that we see that fixed price contracts will increase in prices over the next years. It's already been happening, and we see this happening more and more. So we see that the smart ones who wants to beat the market, they're basically, well, they need a product like this so that they can basically use energy when the price is low, and even get money if there is negative prices, because that also happens, and then basically have the tool in order to reduce the overall consumption. So we see that it's all the fluctuation is playing in the favor of that and removing a lot of the ground for the traditional fixed prices in the market. And we need that because that's the only way to balance the grid.
Which is important, and also to accelerate, more energy efficiency and transition. Thanks a lot, Edgeir. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks
for listening.